think exposure on TV is huge. Just seeing yourself on TV is, I mean, huge.
Where did you grow up?
Chicago, Northwest Side in Arlington Heights.
Do you remember the first gay I remember on TV besides like a Liberace? Like
my joke is C-3PO, but Ellen.
When her character
I was
came out of the closet.
horrified too because a lot of us watched.
Buddy, we're doing a podcast.
A lot of us watched in fear.
Like it's thirsty about it. Yeah.
I remember watching in fear to see how the world would react when she came out, and boy, did that I jump right back into the closet.
We're out. We can't sponsor you anymore.
Everybody.
It's disgusting.
I watched her her Oprah interview right during that time.
Yeah.
And the way that these women in the audience were talking to her was as if Ellen had been caught slaughtering a child in traffic. I mean, it was
what
like,
did they say? I don't remember.
You are disgusting, and this is horrible, and you should have never done this, and you are like just.
You should have never done what? Have your character come out?
Any of it. Just her saying she was gay.
I remember Will Ferrell at SNL. I think it was him going like at the desk. Going, her character's out of the closet. That's okay. At least she's still a bomb bitch who can like fuck, men with the best of them. And then whoever was the host was like, oh no, she's gay. I'm like, right, her character. And it's like, no, she's also gay. And he just goes, that's so disgusting.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah. I think my whole life. I mean, it was just everything was gay jokes. Everything's gay jokes.
Mine was my so-called life.
My so-called life.
Yeah. Remember that MTV show with Claire Danes?
No, Claire Danes was in an MTV show.
It was right before. Yeah, it was right before you were aware of television. Because I was a teenager.
Because I remember this show called Undressed. And do you remember Undressed?
It was like 20 different storylines.
Yes.
Going like 2 minutes at a time. They could like move people in and out.
Yes. And the budget was like $5. I mean, there was no budget to that show, but they showed gay people.
Oh, right, because that's right.
And I remember like sneaking, and you had like the remote so you could flip back to whatever other channel was on in case somebody walked in. And I was just like,
you had the last channel?
Oh, yeah.
What? Football? What?
I mean, I was just salivating to see anything gay because I was just so... That show was...
Oh, yeah, Undressed. They have a list of like actual actors who came out of Undressed because they were just like, anybody. You look good. You're in Hollywood. Come on, you could be on that show.
And they explored like... I remember them talking about fetishes.
Threesomes.
Everything. There was a fetish where this guy wanted to keep seeing his girlfriend eat, so he kept making her food. And I'm like, that exists? I didn't know. It was a really profound show. I mean, Undressed was like, it was like burned into my brain of like, this is...
It was like soap opera-ish where there was drama, but it was also just, most of the drama was like, can I see what happens next?
Right.
But you had like 5 or 10 different storylines, so it was like constant cliffhangers.
Yeah.
That they'd come back to like 3 times per show.
It's whatever's softer than softcore porn. I mean, because people would be in their underwear.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
And I mean, and they also had that show Next on MTV, which I still think is the greatest show of all. Remember Next?
No.
Next
is it a dating show?
Yes. They had a bus. And they would say,
oh, yeah. And they had gays.
Yes. And the gays always hooked up in the bus.
That's right. Because they were like, yeah, if it was the heteros, they'd be like, I think you should date Margaret or Margaret, whatever. But
right.
We don't like each other. But the gays were always like, yeah,
go ahead, do whatever. Let's see. Yeah. And it was so funny. They get off the bus, they'd have to say like 3 things that describe themselves, and they're all over memes now. But you can see like, I love Skittles. I'm a badass bitch, and I learned how to swim when I was 4. And then they freeze. They come off the bus. The person's like, next. I mean, it just was.
And it was like they were
fabulous.
trying to be cunty. They were just like, I say no.
Yeah.
Why though? Why? If there was no other people on the bus, you wouldn't say no. You're like, all right, you seem nice. Let's hang out.
You'd be like, all right, we'll get a cup of coffee.
Next. I mean, I saw once at an open mic at the Westwood Bruco in LA. They were filming one of those dating shows, and it was down between 2 girls. I don't know what the beginning was, upstairs in the area, and he goes, I choose Margaret because she's this and this. I'm sorry, Samantha. And then they're like, good. All right, let's try it again. This time, choose Samantha. And I was like, what?
That's when TV was ruined for you.
Yeah. And they just choose later. Next.
Well, there used to be a show called My Parents. That's probably the
setting
show.
him up with somebody.
Yes, because the parents hated the boyfriend, so then they find a guy, and then that guy takes her on a date, and then somehow they expect within 2.5 hours for her to just
dump the boyfriend who's been beating her into submission, so she like somehow likes him. By the way, your parents don't like your boyfriend; they're just gonna make you go to the boyfriend more.
I know, and most of the time, like a bad boyfriend, I mean, they would never get as real as domestic abuse. They would just sort of be like,
would never that.
Like he just had like a earring. And that was enough for the parents to be like, this guy's gotta go. There's always some mother from Minnesota with that haircut being like, we just love our daughter Allison, and she found this guy, and he likes the Beastie Boys, and I just don't know.
That's not the kind of rap I was raised with.
I was raised with the rap from the Container Store, so I don't...
They also was like, what happens if they go back to the boyfriend? Like, how do you think the boyfriend's going to treat you, Mom? When you're like, you want a fucking reality show to get rid of me, you fucking bitch?
Well,
No, we won't be home by 11. Just assume that.
You just brought me and my boyfriend through humiliation and yourselves.
On national TV.
I'm not coming home for dinner, and I'm not bringing John.
Yeah. Sweet video, huh? Yeah, it was. And I did it for you. For free. And you know what I want in return? Just one thing. I want you to subscribe. That's right. Did it all for one subscription from you. It's not too much to ask. If you want, go ahead and leave a comment too. That'd be great. But in reality, I'm asking for one thing in return for that sweet content. You click subscribe right there. Come on, don't be a jerk.